We bought the place in 1991, so we celebrated 25 years of owning the Strand Theatre back in November. It was built in 1923. It was actually started in 1922, but the framing came down during a storm and they had to start from scratch. And it was completed in March of 1923, so it's 94 years old this year.
You know, when you start something like this, you're always going for longevity, but you're not thinking about that, whether that's going to happen or not. When I first saw the lobby, it had drop ceilings in it, and I thought, oh no, it's screwed up. But you get past that into the original auditorium, and it was beat up, but it was all intact. The 30s seats were there, that fabric on the walls was there, and oh, you know, the bones are good. There's something to work from.
We painted the ceilings, we had the seats redone. They actually had to get taken apart, boxed up, and shipped to Virginia. The seats that year went on vacation, and we did not. So they got reupholstered and shipped back and reinstalled, and so that was awesome. But it was a huge undertaking, and it was very expensive. So after going through all that, and then a few years later finding that we had to go digital, we really didn't expect it to happen as soon as it did, the need to go digital or else not get any product.
We made it through some awful times. It's like, you do all these things, when you're writing a business plan, you do these projections, what it's going to bring in and what it's going to cost. I remember we started getting all this first run product, and actually we were bringing in more income than we thought we were going to, but our expenses went way out of line. By sheer stupidity, stubbornness, perseverance, we just kind of made it through.
We're really big on preserving history and artifacts from history, as you can tell. Bob is constantly just adding something here and there, and I'll walk by it, and one day and just notice it for the first time, and he'll say, oh yeah, I put that up 2 months ago. So yeah, there's so much to look at that you don't notice things right away.
I've been collecting cameras since the mid-1980s, maybe. If you look at cameras, camera design's really interesting, very cool. They always tried different weird gimmicky ideas to keep making more different cameras. Just from a design standpoint, they're wonderful to look at.
We get more cameras in daily. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point this afternoon there's a box sitting out front, because people will just leave a box, that was in their grandmother's attic or whatever, and they don't want to throw them out. So they just kind of set them in front and just leave.
A lot of times, people would buy a camera, use it a little bit, then it would go on a shelf or go in the closet, and they try the next one. Christmas time, my dad used to always come home with a different camera. I remember like around 1974, the Polaroid Swinger. That was the hot thing for the family Christmas present, and we're all taking pictures with it. And then the next year it's something else, or making the home movies with the Super 8 and the bright lights. And this place has become sort of a retirement home for all that stuff.
Bob does the projection and the tickets, and I am the concession lady. So I'm the popcorn lady, movie lady, I've been called in the community. The kids that work for us, we'll hire them at 14. We've had some over the years that, have stayed through college and even after college. We had one employee that was 30 years old and still hadn't, found a full-time job, and she was still with us once in a while. She would help us out. So yeah, but people seem to enjoy working here. We have a good time. We joke around, and it's fun. It makes us feel good when people have a good time here. It's important to us. We go out of our way to make sure that people have a good time, and Bob, every night after every show, he likes to stand in the doorway and thank people on their way out. In fact, there are times we're still wolfing down dinner and we live upstairs, so he'll be in a rush to come down, I can't miss the audience, the movie's getting out, I gotta thank them, so he rushes downstairs whether he's done with dinner or not. There are times Bob and I joke about how we feel like we're farmers. When people come to the movies, we come downstairs and make popcorn. I feel like it's part of our living room.
I remember showing Sleepless in Seattle, and they had all that, the Jimmy Durante songs, and the lights would come up, and there'd be elderly couples dancing in the aisles while the credits were rolling, and that kind of stuff is just, that's what it's all about.
There are times when I'll be, cleaning, especially the main auditorium. I'll be by myself cleaning it at the end of a night, and I'll just stand and look at it. it's a beautiful place. If it could talk, I'm sure there are amazing stories that the theater could tell. And I give it sort of like a little hug and say thank you, I love you.